Greetings from Lviv, Ukraine. Dear friends at Sarang Church, it's my privilege to address you and thank you for this opportunity. We had the war and you've been a faithful partner, committed to help us and support us through your prayers as well as your financial support. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of hearts of my people here in Ukraine. We all understand that you, better than anyone, knows what does it mean to go through the war. This is the fourth year of war for us, and you went through your own war in 50s. And as a result of that war, you became who you are. And we look at you as an inspiration. Because as we think about war here in Ukraine, the thing that we are really concerned is what's going to happen to us as a nation of Ukraine after this war. War is a great evil for us. But in spite of that evil, we believe in God who is able to redeem any kind of evil for something good and great. And what we've already been seeing, and in the last 3 years, we've seen the growth in Protestant believers, and we've seen the church doubled in their size. We know that the cause of that is something really unpleasant, but the outcome of that is something that is really desirable. And so when I think about South Korea, when I think about you, our friends, the thing that inspires me is your nation, your commitment and devotion to the Lord. I know that you're going through different historical time, but after your war, your nation became a light and salt for all the nations around you. And so my hope is that after this war that we're going through, the nation of Ukraine will become the light and salt for all the nations in Europe. And I hope that our people will be people that believe in God, that live according to His commandments, and bring that truth and message to those people in Europe. What we experienced historically, that after World War II, a lot of European countries turned from being Christian to being atheist. What my prayer is, and I hope you will support us in that prayer, is to see our nation turning from ungodly ways into a nation that believes and lives according to God's commandments. And it will not only bring their strength to our people, but it will also bring hope to our people as well as the nations around. And as we look at this war, I would like to start with one passage from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, last verse in that chapter. And Apostle Paul is talking about visible and invisible. And he says that what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. And when I think about this verse and take this verse as the lens to see, to show our experience to you, the one that we received through this war, the things that comes to my mind is that really important things in life are not the things that are seen, but things that are unseen. When I think about love, it's something what I experience, but probably I cannot see. When I think about justice, righteousness, all of these things are concepts that we're not able to see, but we cannot live without it. When I look at all that, there is the life of one of our students that come to my mind. His name is Sasha. He's 26 years old. He just joined our school and he became a part of the program with the desire to help military families, veterans, to live with PTSD and bring some emotional relief to him. He lost 2 of his legs and 1 hand. So when you look at him, it's very difficult even to think how can you continue to live. But as I was around him and as I was watching him, the thing that struck me the most about him, that his life has an extreme strength in purpose. He's the one that knows his why. And he really wants to commit and devote his life to serve to those that are in need and need encouragement. And when I look at him, the thing that strikes me the most he does not have limbs, but he has a meaning. And one of the greatest things that we have learned as Ukrainians is if you know your why, you can handle any kind of how. And looking at him, even when he lost parts of his body, he did not lose the meaning. He did not lose his why. He knows that God gave him a unique opportunity to be his voice in the life of so many people. So when I'm talking about this eternal and unseen, the first thing that comes to my mind is knowing our why. This is the lesson that we experience and we live through, but this is the lesson that I learned from Viktor Frankl in his book, A Man in Search of Meaning. For me, as for Sasha, it became part of our life. Because in this evil that we are living through, there's not that much meaning. But having our God and seeing people like Sasha, I'm still reminded about the great meaning in our life. Even when you're losing almost everything, you still can have why for your life. And in spite of that, you can handle any kind of how. The second thing that I would like to point out in this unseen, what Paul is talking about, he's talking about all kind of persecutions and pain that we're going through. We have a very long way. 3 years, this is the 4th year of war. We started this war with some friends on our side, and now at the end of the 3rd year, at the beginning of the 4th year, some of our friends, I'm not sure if they are friends. And so it's really difficult for us. And the thing that really speaks here to me is we cannot change the reality. I wish I could change Russians, Putin, and stop killing us and stop killing these innocent people here, but I cannot do that. But in spite of all of that, even if I don't control this environment, I control myself. I can change. And so this is what I choose and my people choose. We choose to fight. We choose to stand for the truth. But more than anything else, we would like to bring God's care and God's love into lives of so many other people. And this is something that gives us strength to go through day by day. And as you pray about us, please pray that God will give us strength not to be fixated on these seen things, on this reality, but actually being fixated on Jesus himself. Quite often he is unseen. But as I am reminded of Matthew 25, he is the one that said, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was sick, you visited me. When I was in prison, you came to see me. And so we have so many people like that around, and in spite of the situation, we can choose to meet Jesus in those people. And with your help, we can be much more effective than we are. So thank you for that. And the third thing that comes out of this unseen reality, if I am thinking about these last 3 years, is the first few weeks of the war. We didn't really know what to do. And sadly, just a month ago, after this event in Oval Office, it was like going back to the beginning of the war. All people here in Ukraine were confused. Because when you have one expectations and something else happens, it's very difficult. I remember the level of anxiety in each one of us. We were checking news. We were not sure what's going to happen with us as the nation, because one of the strongest ally decided not to be an ally anymore. And you know what I was reminded at that time? That so many people around me, they need encouragement even more than I need. And there's a story about one girl called Milana in the city of Kherson. If you're familiar a little bit about situation in Kherson. Part of Kherson is being attacked by Russian soldiers all the time using drones, and they attacking civilians. And this girl, who's like 6 years old, Milana, after their attack that was done on her family and her home, she lost the ability to talk. She kind of closed. And we have V-Care Center in Kherson, and those people invited her to be part of that V-Care. And through tender love and care, that girl became to talk. She started living through her life again. And even recently, they had a little thing going in the church, and she was reciting a poem in the church. She was singing in the kids' choir. And that was the one that didn't even want to say a word. But through the care and through the service of those people, that V-Care Center in Kherson, she was back to ability to talk and enjoy life. They still have a difficult time in Kherson, and they still under attacks. But you know what? They still have people that care about others. And so the third lesson that we learned as Ukrainians, if you want to keep your sanity, you have to be lost in ministry to other people, in serving other people. So my challenge to all of you is to be faithful in your prayers, is to be faithful in your commitments, and also be faithful in getting lost in ministry to other people. I'm grateful for this opportunity to bring this message for you. Thank you for your prayers and your support. Greetings from Ukraine, Lviv.